Not every female can give birth, but only females can give birth.
Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about something that has really bothered me for a couple of months, and every time I hear that from somebody, it boils my blood. There's a video came out a couple of days ago from SydneyWatson. I love this woman. I will put her link in the description. You should just go and subscribe. She's an incredible person. We're going to watch the clip, and I'm going to follow it with the clip that actually passed on Dr. Phil when Matt Walsh went there. And I think it's just ridiculous. So let's just watch the clip.
Can't get pregnant. This resulted in our non-binary birthing friend responding by saying that a woman who can't have babies is a gender identity.
You just described yourself as a woman who can't have babies. That is a gender identity, just as my trans and non-binary identity is a gender identity. Just because it goes against the norms doesn't mean that your identity isn't any less of an identity than mine.
She's even surprised. I'm just best. If you want to find it, you can just type Dr. Phil transgender or Dr. Phil and Matt Walsh, and you will actually find the video, the full video. You can also go to Matt Walsh's channel, and you should also find a big part of it over there. It was actually about the gender pronoun, and now we'll come back to that in another video. But today, let's talk about the fact that somebody can say something like this.
So I'm trying to understand. Your definition is that a woman is someone who is female, you said, right?
Correct,
Gotcha.
is
Okay.
a biological female.
So what happens if we have maybe someone who is female, identifies as a woman, right? You know, cisgender woman, right? As you just explained, but maybe doesn't have the ability to reproduce. Maybe doesn't have those organs that you're talking about that are reproductive organs.
I have answered the question. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not
But
myself.
you used the word, so what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right?
The audacity that people actually have to go and sit on television, national television, to make fun of somebody who can actually not give birth to somebody. And I'm sure they also make fun about men that actually are sterile and everything. I think that is actually insulting. Because a woman cannot give birth because she's sterile, because maybe something happened to her, now you want us to not call them women anymore. We actually have respect for people here. They are always going to be women. They are always going to be women to us, not to our eyes. On this planet, they are always going to be women. Because sometimes it just takes a little intervention, it takes taking some pills, it takes relaxing, it takes a lot of practice, because sometimes, it happens and, miracle. But you, that nip-tuck yourself, you're never going to be a woman. I love something that Sydney said yesterday. She said it so well.
Is that not every female can give birth, but only females can give birth. This isn't a matter.
Let me run that back.
What? The reality here is that not every female can give birth, but only females can give birth.
That's it. It doesn't matter if you go on the internet and you actually see stupid things like, oh, I'm a man, the first man pregnant, the first man to give birth. You're not a man. You're not a man, you're a female, you're a woman. Actually, only in English that we actually talk about, well, mostly that we talk about female and woman and separate them, because this is something that usually people don't do. We don't call human people female. We call them women, we call them girls, we call men or boys, but we don't call them male or we don't call them female, because it sounds really rude in other places. But I just think that it's crazy that somebody is in pain. Some people actually even lose their marriage because the marriage can actually not produce kids. And these people are willing to come and sit and talk about the fact that why should we call these people women or men because they can't actually reproduce, as if they could reproduce. So because these people have medical issues, We should accept you as trans women or trans man. This is how somebody actually debates today. Try to convince us, the other party, that they're women. To me, again, people cannot just become women. You were born woman, you were born a girl, and you can go the other route, or you were born a boy and you become a man and you cannot become a woman. As easy as that. You can cut yourself anywhere you want. You can try to accessorize yourself with any fake thing you want. It doesn't actually mean that it's real. And I think that even though you can do that and be happy about yourself, the last thing you should do is to make fun of somebody that has a medical condition. That is just above and beyond me, because I don't understand why it's like seeing somebody with cancer and be like, oh, you don't have hair. Who does that? It's not funny. And this is something you see and you hear so often from trans people. Not all of them, but you hear it way too much. You shouldn't hear it at all.
A matter of gender identity, it's a biological reality, and I basically say as much in my response to this comment on the episode.
Can I just make the point that
You can make a point, girl.
even non-functioning female anatomy is still female anatomy. So the fact that you can't have a child or you can't get pregnant, that doesn't diminish the fact that you are a woman, because you still have the anatomy to do so.
Those are two different things, though. Being a female anatomy, having female anatomy, and being a woman are two different things.
But they're not, though, because
They are.
this
Well, I
brings...
could go get the anatomy.
Well, what is a woman then?
Why does it matter so much to have this differentiation? Why is it so important to hold on to this definition of biological
offer
feminine?
something.
Yeah, no,
I mean, firstly, what is going on with my eyebrows? What is my whole face? How did this happen? They look like they're going to crawl across my face and wrestle. I can't.
Don't worry, Sydney. Stuff happens. You are so cute. It happens, and it usually happens when you're actually not waiting for it to happen. But it's okay. You were defending the cause, so we still support you for that. And thank you for reassuring that woman that was sitting next to you, because just to be reduced to that, and somebody tells you that, well, you're not really a woman, you're like another gender because you can't actually have kids. It really, really, really upsets me. It upsets me a whole lot. I don't know why people, instead of being sensitive to a person, I have seen so many people on this planet that cannot have kids. It usually breaks them. They're stressed about it, they're depressed about it, they go to rehab about it. So for people to just make fun of them, to not be sensible, as I say, sometimes this group, for the ones who actually come out like this so often, because some of them are really okay and respectful, they just want to alter their bodies and call themselves something and whatever. But some of them just come out as bullies. If you're a bully and you want to actually have a support, I think that you're just delusional. Anyway, go give some love to, our sister Sydney. I actually like the fact that I actually left this image, because it's just beyond me for people to actually just think that they can go make fun of sterile people. The only people who are allowed on this planet, I'm going to make a video about the pronouns thingy, but the only people who are allowed to actually choose their pronoun on this planet should be the intersex people. Because they don't know how they're going to grow. Nobody knows how they're going to grow. Sometimes they stay the way they are. Sometimes they hit a certain age in puberty and they were girls and they start actually having beard that grows and the tone of their voice actually starts changing, because some women actually have beards but they still have a women tone voice. But intersex people, all of these things can change. They can have more hairs all over their body. So if somebody born with this condition is like, I now want to be called this, we can understand. This is their real body. They were born this way.
The reason Kara can't have children and the reason Shandy can't have children are monumentally different. Kara can't reproduce because her female organs are non-functional. Shandy cannot reproduce because Shandy is a male who lacks all female reproductive organs.
They are who they are. But I definitely believe that some people go and change themselves to just come out famous. If you believe that because somebody cannot reproduce, the person shouldn't be called a woman, then you should definitely stop actually being public, because that is not right. That is bullying to me. Anyway, again, let's go show some love to Sydney, and you can also go and watch the whole episode of Dr. Phil, Matt Walsh on the internet. It's out there, so I needed to vent a little bit, sorry, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.